From surgically modified bodies to becoming a millionaire in a day business, do we even know what's real anymore? Every day we are faced with the next best thing when we're just trying to become healthier, wealthier, and happy. What the fuck is real? What the fuck is true? What the fuck are you supposed to believe about yourself and your success while trying to build something that actually lasts? Welcome to What the Fuck is Beauty Anyway, the podcast. I am your host, Jenn, founder of Raga Studio, a fitness champion, IFBB pro figure competitor, a skincare line creator, and a serial entrepreneur. Well, and I'm an overall business coach. After years of building businesses from the ground up, I am here to help you with society standards and, well, to use your beauty within to build something that is truly you and truly impactful. So now let's dive in. Hey guys, it's Jenn here with What the F is Beauty Anyway, WTF. And so I highly recommend that you like, share, and if you reshare this, I will actually repost this on my social media platform for you and encourage everybody to know and to speak the truth of what we believe WTF is anyway. And I haven't done this before, so this is my first endeavor.
So I'm the guinea pig. Oh, great.
No, when you're not a guinea pig. I've been doing a solo podcast for over a year now. And I thought to myself, you know what? I've been giving out so much information that my brain is fried, and I need to actually bring in amazing, strong women and men, because I'm not being sexist in this, women and men with the fact of real life, what they think beauty is, just everything in the realm. And I've reached out to certain individuals that I've felt can give so much for people listening to help them within their lives, or maybe their story or their past that they've dealt with, to move on to the future and what people do. And so I actually picked one of my amazing friends, Lindsey, and just phenomenal being, phenomenal. And
You're so sweet.
what?
I said you're so sweet.
I mean, how long have we known each other for?
I don't know. Our boys used to skateboard together.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time.
Yeah. And I just, honestly, there's not many people out there that will tell you that exactly the truth, right? They'll tell you exactly how they're feeling. They'll tell you exactly maybe what happened, or maybe, like, for instance, something in the business, somebody answered the phone and the person was completely ridiculous. You would call me and say, hey, this person is like fucked in the head. You need to get rid of them. Right. And the thing is that many people will not do that. And I admire that. Like, I love friendships like that. And it's to the fact that I can say something to you and you won't ever get offended by it. You'd be like, you know what? I'm going to take that into heart because maybe that means something. And those are the people that I want here. Those are the people that I want to associate with, because those are the people that love me and have my back as well as I do theirs. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about you. Tell me who you are.
Well, originally I thought we were talking about beauty stuff. So I wrote bullet points because I am like a type A person.
I know.
So if you are, if you're actually asking me, I'm always like prepared. I try to be early. I try to like make my little bullet points of stuff. So I can go through those if you want, and then we can go from there. It's up to you.
Nope, it's up to you. Go for it.
Okay. So I feel like such a geek right now. Okay, so big picture for beauty for me is keeping a sense of humor, right? Like I have always had a positive mental attitude, no matter what I'm going through. Laugh at least once a day, for sure. Pay people compliments.
Amen.
Like, I mean, somebody needs to know they look cute, or just their hat is nice, or, you know, something. It actually reflects back on you. Gestures of kindness, of course, you know, pay it forward, you know, if you're in the coffee line kind of thing. And don't be a Debbie Downer. Oh my gosh. Okay, do you remember that SNL skit where they had the Debbie Downer and she was like, wah, wah, like that drags you down. And that actually, it really does affect your whole body, mind, and everything. So
well,
that's
your cells listen to everything you tell them.
They
regardless
do.
if you don't think, like for instance, I've been reading this book and it dawned on me, like I was driving the other day and I said to Kevin, I'm like, dude, you're killing me right now. Well, you don't think that that's a negative response, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think like, okay, you're killing me right now. Stop it, whatever. But your cells are actually listening to that. Like they're listening and they just hear that word and it resonates to it. So it is a negative aspect. So I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, my love.
Oh, no, you didn't. It's fine. And then I have to show you this thing. Okay. This, I think I told you I slammed my hand in a door, right? Okay. It was that big, giant, gross fist. I might offend somebody or not, but I don't know what their feelings are on CBD oil, but I put it on and it's flat.
Oh, nice.
I've been using oil of oregano because I'm an oiler, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't slowing it down. And so my daughter actually told me about putting CBD oil on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. And within a week, it's flat. So like that's kind of a thing. And then using C, D3, and magnesium are the top three things that I use every day. That's huge because you were talking about how it goes, you know, your insides out. Well, that's what reflects your skin and everything. Mm-hmm. So that's like super important to me. And then as far as weight, well, you know me, I've lost a lot of weight in the past season, but I don't use a scale. I just see what fits. And I'm trying to put on weight, but I'm trying to put on healthy weight. Mm-hmm. Eat a freaking vegetable, people. Like stay off the McDonald's.
Amen.
I sat outside the grocery store the other day and I was watching two double lines converge onto the McDonald's. And I literally saw there was a family with kids in the car and they were smoking and they had masks on their chins. And I'm like, oh, don't even get me started on that. Anyway, moving on.
A whole podcast where people will definitely hate me if I keep talking about it.
I know. I'm sorry. It's me. Blame me, not Jen.
No.
Anyway, so when my kids were little, I wasn't the epitome of health. Like, I mean, I tried to make, you know, food well for them, but I didn't know what was in the mac and cheese boxes. I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know, right? But I did my best at the time. I've learned since then. But since I learned and the kids were in like junior high school age, they didn't get the boxed mac and cheese or the Fruity Loops or whatever, the Fruit Loops or Fruity Pebbles or anything like that, unless it was like Christmas or their birthday.
I think it's
because they wanted it so bad.
No.
Yeah. Well, now I've turned them into a bunch of health nuts. So yeah, I made those as gifts once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Anyway, as far as my next bullet point, I put no pressure on my kids as far as magazines. They were not allowed to have magazines because I grew up on, you know, like Tiger Beat and all those magazines that showed impossible ways of actually being a human. Because like I don't have airbrushing, I don't have, any of the things that the models had.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. And so I refused to buy magazines for the kids. And I think it helped them be a little bit stronger, I hope, because I've raised some pretty strong kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that, people will understand that it's literally just advertising. Because if you look through, let's just say Vogue magazine or Cosmopolitan or something like that, how many pages are actually showing you something positive, or how much is it advertising or, Photoshop or
it's ridiculous.
That kind of thing. Yeah. So no magazines.
And
then the other thing is for skin, you have been like the miracle worker for me, because you dialed in my skin. Oh my gosh. I don't know how many products we've gone through because my skin is so sensitive, but you dialed me into like the perfect skincare, and I have not changed it since you got it dialed in. I don't even know how many years ago.
Yeah, a couple
years. More than a couple.
Well, more than that, yeah.
But like now, since I'm like postmenopausal, I only have to rinse in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have like breakouts. I don't have any issues.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I didn't put a bullet point on is hormones. And I know that you've talked about that before, and that was super huge for me. And I think that is not talked about enough. So, when I was getting all those breakouts right around my lymph nodes and stuff like that, that was huge. But now I don't have that issue, and I see the difference. And I feel like that message needs to be fast forwarded.
So then let's talk about that for a little bit. Let's go back on that. What did you do to help yourself through that? What did you learn?
Okay, so I had, honestly, this is like really silly, but I had heard about bioidenticals through Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to check that out. Well, the only place that they sold them is in Sacramento.
Okay.
And I'm not going to drive, that far once a month to get bioidentical cream. So I found some on Amazon that did the trick, because I started seeing a change for the better when I used it. So I just kept doing that, not every day, just as needed, because I could kind of feel some changes happening.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was all I did.
How do you feel like it helped with your metabolism? Did you notice a difference?
Oh, well, that fluctuated a lot, but I was also going through a lot at the time. So like, I grew up like a string bean, and I'm still a string bean now. And my peak weight for me was 165 pounds, and I'm 5'8". So when people saw me at that time, they didn't think anything of it. And now they see me and I lost a lot of weight. I'm like, you don't understand. I've been this skinny like my whole life. I was picked on for being too skinny.
Yeah.
And so when I was at the peak of menopause and stuff, I put on like 25 pounds. It was like unheard of. So, and my husband called me fat. It was like, I'm 165 and 5'8". Really? Okay.
You're not fat at all. I'm 140 and I'm 5'4". So let's talk a little bit about diet, because I know that you changed a lot, like within yourself with certain things too. What do you feel like works for you and your metabolism as you've gotten to like that peak level of age, right?
Okay, so I'm 50 now. For the past 10 years, I've been trying to figure out what fixes my gut, because my stomach has just been acting weird. I can no longer eat cheese, which hurts my heart. because Gruyere is my favorite.
Can you do goat cheese?
I've eaten a little bit, but if I eat more than my stomach will allow, it catches up to me. So I'm playing with that right now. I don't have that dialed in just yet.
How does your skin react when you eat cheese? Do you break out or do you get rashes or anything?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't had any issues with that. But I did start going like gluten-free a long time ago, and it wasn't because I'm, celiac or anything like that. It's just because I know that there's a lot of chemicals in the gluten that we buy here. So if you buy, pasta from Italy, it's going to be fine for me.
Yeah.
But if I get it from, Costco or something like that, and it's not from Italy, then it's going to hurt my stomach.
Yeah.
And hard to digest. So that's the only reason why I switched that. Just faster to digest. I don't know. It doesn't affect me like health-wise, as far as like celiac or anything like that.
Yeah, I do that too. I don't do carb intake at all, really, because most carbs that are out there are really hard for your body to digest.
Yeah, well, it's all the GMOs. So I'm over it. And so I've switched to more organic as much as possible, as much as I can afford. And then that's it.
So in a day of a life, what is your intake for the day? Like, what do you eat?
Okay. So like I get up at ridiculous early time, sometimes 3, sometimes 4 in the morning. And I'll eat like a bowl of fruit, or I'll eat a bagel with peanut butter, throw some raspberries on it. I'll eat 2 lunches because like I said, I was trying to gain weight. So just before we dialed in, I'm having this bagel with turkey, guacamole, lettuce. And then I'll probably have something in another like hour or 2. And then for dinner, it depends on like how hungry I am.
Yeah.
I'll eat, I don't eat a whole lot of red meat, but I've had a red meat. I do chicken, like the sausages that are like a chicken sausage and vegetables, like root vegetables. I roast those. That's pretty much it. I put some good oils on it and down the hatch.
Good fat oils. Yeah. So and
I don't eat a lot of sugar.
Yeah, no, sugar's the devil.
Yeah.
That's horrible. It's horrible
It really
for you.
is.
Yeah. So let's talk about WTF is beauty, right? So you just went over pretty much like what you're doing, your routines, how you do things. What do you feel like works well with you with mindset? Because I know, just as your friend, that you're going through shit, and we all go through shit. You've been there when I went through my divorce and had the down and outs with Gabe and everything else. And what do you do for yourself for mental clarity to be a better person that day with all the shit you're going through?
Honestly, I listen to worship music.
Yeah.
I write. I'm actually writing a proverb a day because I want to leave my handwriting to my kids. I've seen people tattoo that, so I'm like, hint, hint, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Every time my son gets a tattoo, I'm like, you spelled mom wrong. But no, I just try to get in a happy place.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only thing I've got right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to turn this to a different level if it's okay with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't make me cry.
If you cry, it's okay. It's okay. The reason why I want to is because this is something that I think that we haven't talked about before. And maybe I might even divvy out and cut out portions depending on my podcast girl. I'm going to talk to her. But I want to talk about what the fuck is is beauty when it comes to your mental capacity, your brain, your functions, who you are as a person, and all around down, excuse my language, fucking relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have not expressed what has happened to me before. And I think with these podcasts that are coming out, it's what has happened in my life is going to be coming out even more, right? So, I went through a divorce, gosh, 5-6 years ago. It was really bad, right? I
Mm-hmm.
lost my family. I lost my friends. I lost my son through the divorce. It was a bad time in my life, fucking depressing time. To the point to where I had shingles. I could really give a shit if I lived or died. My whole world was taken from me because my son was gone. Right? I raised him. He was my everything in life. And it was a whole period of a time that I got to find out who Jenn was all over again, like before babies, right? Before you birthed these souls into the world, you had a presence of who you were, and then you were a mom, and then your life was being a mom. And then now it's gone. And it's like, okay, how the fuck do I function going forward if I don't have this soul in my life that I used to, right? I mean, it was a point in my life that was fucking hard. And I had to give my story this morning to one of my media people that is taking over my media. And I actually started crying. And I was like, well, I didn't want to cry while I was telling you my story, right? But we all have stories. And the reason why I bring this up, and I love you because you're open, you're honest, you'll tell it like it is, and you won't care. And I know that about you. And somebody out there is going through what you're going through, and somebody needs to hear it. And that's why I bring it up. And I want you to say whatever you want to say. But if you don't want to say anything, you don't have to. Okay. But I want you to share your story of why right now you're going through a separation process. You okay with that?
Yeah. Hmm.
How long were
Well,
you married for?
we've been together for over 30 years.
Okay. You guys had a business together, a very successful business.
Yeah. And I ran it by myself for the last couple years because he was absent. And honestly, Jenn, I've been finding out new information like on a daily basis of how I've been lied to over the past several years. And it's shocking, heartbreaking, but it doesn't break my strength. I'm like, I have a really good support system. And I guess I'm more in awe that it's something that I would have seen in the movies, didn't think it would actually happen in real life. Basically, that's where I'm at right now.
But before we get to your story, I want to tell you something as a friend. And what I've noticed is that even though, and this is what I try to tell people all the time, is even though things happen in our lives that we are in an all-time low, right? That you just think to yourself, what the fuck? Can it just ever get better? Right? Why does this shit keep happening?
Mm-hmm.
But the transition that I've seen you go through to finding out who you are all over again, finding out your spiritual path, finding out what you believe in and what your life purpose is about, it's all came to fruition. Like I see it with you on a daily.
Mm-hmm.
So
I for one do not air my dirty laundry on social media. I would never defame him for what's been going on.
Yeah.
No, and I think that's actually really childish behavior. But I have been through the gamut of a season, if we'll call it that. And I know I'm not through it. I'm in the middle of the hallway, if you want to call it that. The door hasn't opened yet to the next thing, but I'm confident that I will get there. And I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it's genetics. I don't know if it's the way that I was raised. My dad was really stubborn, and I just dig my feet in deeper when stuff like this happens to me. I'm like, oh, really? You're going to do this? All right. Well,
Yeah.
Middle finger, you get it. And I've had a lot of other things happen over the years. And even during this season, it's like in layers almost of, bad stuff that is not me. I'll just put it out there. Okay. So a letter was written to a family member that said some very bad things about me and that I had done a bunch of bad things. I'm like, I'm probably like the nicest person on the planet. I have a really sick sense of humor, but I would never do any of that stuff. And as a result, some family members don't want to talk to me. So I'm like, okay, well, that's on you. That's not on me. And I just keep trucking along. So as far as the relationship that you started to talk about, I'm dealing with a complete 100% narcissist with an addiction. And there's nothing I can do about it. I've tried for years to help, and it's not working. It caused me to be homeless and live in a warehouse on a hammock for a month, warming up food in a coffee pot. So, did it break me? No. I'm going to write a damn good book someday.
I'll help you with it.
Good.
I have someone.
I'm glad because I've got lots of pages I'm sure that I can fill. It'll be like War and Peace. It'll be that thick.
Yeah. The reason why I wanted you on here is because you inspire me, and you're going to inspire a lot of other people, because the fact is that if you can't read in between the lines of what's going on, it takes a strong individual to deal with what you're dealing with, right? And to move on and to go forward. And I really want to give other people advice of what you did at these moments that made you stronger to keep pushing on to the next moment.
I took a negative and I made it a positive. I mean, I think that's probably the most basic thing that I can explain it as. So when I'm given something bad, you give me 15 minutes to absorb what I just heard, saw, read, whatever. Give me a minute. And then I come back and I flip it. That's just it. You have to flip it.
Yep.
That's the only way I think I'm surviving this whole season in my life.
If you don't mind, will you give us an example of something negative that you get that you would flip into a positive?
Okay, so I got some really bad information about my house that's in foreclosure. I was thinking that I was able to possibly save it and get it back for myself because I've been locked out of it for a year. Unfortunately, I found out that it was thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars more in arrears because certain someone didn't pay the mortgage for 2.5 years. And I didn't know that, and I was being lied to. So by flipping it, I went outside with my granddaughter and we played with the water hose, and it made me happy. How's it?
What you do. I know.
Yeah.
I gave an example to one of my clients that when you wake up in the morning and you're just in a lull, right? You just don't feel good. Maybe you're a little depressed. I turn on the stupidest song ever and I dance like a fucking idiot just to get my head out of that situation, right? And it helps. But I have a question for you. And this is something we can talk about afterwards too. But you brought up your house situation. Have you thought of, which I might know somebody that would go in and talk to your bank and take over your loan and
Yeah,
then do it back to you?
yeah.
Okay.
We can talk about that after, but
There's a lot of help out there. So
yeah, no, I've done the whole dancing thing too. Actually, because I homeschooled my kids for over 14 years throughout their before they got to high school, and I used to break up the monotony when they would start getting squirrely on me. And I'm like, all right, we're having a 30-second dance party. So I'd put on the wackiest song and 30-second dance party, get up, go, let's do it, you know, and that was it. And then I'm like, okay, now settle down. It's time to study. And they could get through schoolwork, stuff like that.
Nice. I love it.
So.
I love it. Awesome.
So as creative as possible.
No. Okay. So before we end this, I'm thanking you. I think this is an amazing, amazing first podcast out there. I think if anybody wants to go follow her, please do, because she's freaking hilarious. I absolutely love your Instagram, by the way. But it also, because I believe in a lot of what you say, that's why I like it and it cracks me up. So what is your Instagram handle if people want to go follow you?
Lindsey Lewis.
Lindsey Lewis.
Lindsey Lewis. Like Cindy Lou Who, but Lindsey Lewis.
I love that. So question for you. To you, what the fuck do you think beauty is?
Well, it's funny because I was just asking my granddaughter, my 7-year-old granddaughter, yesterday. Because I told her, I'm like, oh, well, you know, Nana's going to be on a podcast tomorrow. And I said, you know, what is beauty to you? And she said, family. So I'm going to stick with family.
I like that. Beauty is family.
Yeah. Come here.
Thank you. Is she there?
She just walked in.
Hi, baby.
Hi.
How are you?
She can't hear you because I have my headphones on.
Okay.
She just said, how are you? I told her what you said about what beauty is, and you said family. Yeah.
Oh, she's adorable.
I think she's on a break right now from schoolwork.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's so cute. Okay.
Well,
thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you. You are the sweetest.
So again, please follow, review, rate, and give Lindsey a follow. Lindsey Lewis. She posts some funny shit. I love it. And you know, share this because somebody needs to hear it. And you know, maybe we'll do another podcast and dive in a little bit deeper to help people with situations that they're dealing with. But I want to thank you. And I will talk to you guys next week. Thanks for turning in this week. I hope that you thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and I hope you're feeling stronger mentally and physically and ready to kick some ass. As we navigate new society norms, business and beauty breakthroughs, make sure to always ask yourself, what the fuck is beauty to me? And know that's all that really matters. If you love this content today, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review. Follow me and get more info on how to work with me at JennCarrasco.com. You can also find me on all of your favorite social media platforms. Now just remember, stay mentally tough.